Happening. Christian, good life. Love that intro. Hey.
Glad to have you here to compliment the intro. Welcome, Scott. Jack.
I love it. I
Jack.
love that intro. I hope that people watching are like, because I'm transfixed because of the words on there. I'm looking for the next bit of sarcasm on every slide. Hey, nice hat.
Well, thanks for the
I gotta get
compliment
my,
on his opening,
dipshit
Sky.
Kicker hat on. Huh?
I was going to say thanks, Sky, for your work on the opening. Compliment the opening. Okay, see ya.
Bye. Yeah.
Hey, hey, everybody. We have a new face. Well, he's not brand new, but we have what we are hoping can be a regular warm-up to the show on our Tuesdays, and also, by the way, my co-host for Wednesdays. What's wrong, Jack?
Your volume's a little low on my end. Is that true for you, Sky?
I don't know. Yours is really high, Jack, and Sky's is lower. So I don't. To me, they're just out of whack. They're just.
Okay.
Sky's is low and yours is really high.
Okay, well, I can lower my voice. That's easy.
I can hear you both.
Okay.
But yeah. Hey, so I thought I'd just bring up something, Mr. Gescheit and Mr. Tom. Is it Thomas or Thompson?
This is your morning news drop that you're providing everybody.
Well, yeah. The thing that I'm paying attention to right now is something that I've been paying attention for a long time, especially since Project 2025 was published back in I think it was published in 2023, I guess, or 2024. I forget when I read it. But here we are in 2026, and we're seeing that it's not dead. One of the big things in there was something that I care a lot about because I lived all over the world. I've traveled the world. And one thing that I was always grateful for, especially when I was in the Eastern Bloc, was wow, my parents would never be able to travel in the Eastern Bloc because it was all closed off to Americans, and there I was sitting in Warsaw having a cup of coffee and looking at the Palace of Science and Industry, and going, my parents will never see this, and they could never see. It was against the law for them to see this with their own eyes, and the future is going to be even brighter because everyone's going to be able to travel wherever they want to go. And we'll be able to exchange more ideas. We'll be able to meet each other and realize that we're not so different, that we're all the same everywhere on Earth. And Project 2025 said, nah. We want to bust up the TSA. We want to break it. We want to privatize it. We want to make it so only certain people can travel. We want to make it harder for people to travel across state lines, harder for people to be on airplanes at all, especially if you ain't got that much scratch in your pocket. And authoritarian regimes always do this, they control travel. I mean, every time you see a movie about the Nazis, you always see these crazy lines at the train stations and stuff, and they always just kind of treat it like it's normal. There's never been a movie about how hard it is to travel in an authoritarian regime, but...
Tell us your papers. Your papers.
Yeah, exactly. Val your papers. There's a person standing at the entrance to the train. Val your papers. And they want to control everything, right? And they do that to restrict dissent, to maintain their power, to take away your autonomy, to manage information, to prevent the spread of ideas, because they can firewall your whole country now, but they can't firewall your legs. But they can firewall your legs too. And what we're seeing right now with the ICE agents arresting people in San Francisco airport, at SFO, they've already arrested somebody. You see them kind of shaking people down. They've detained somebody at the SFO. And so it's like, what the hell are we doing? TSA is broken. They're not getting paid because of the partial shutdown. And they'll blame the Democrats. The Democrats will blame the Republicans. But at the end of the day, this was by design. The narrative that it's the Republicans' fault or it's about the SAVE Act or about all these, it's all bullshit. This was always the plan. break the TSA, make it impossible to travel, make it so it's just intolerable to make it so that you're afraid to travel, and it's very, very difficult to do so. They don't have to make it illegal. They just have to make it hard or expensive. And that's what they're doing.
Well, this hits close to home because I'm supposed to travel this weekend, and I don't want to. It was
Yeah.
a trip that my girlfriend planned, and she is not white. Oh, God. And
Yeah.
now she thought we'd be okay at SFO, but maybe not in LA. And now it sounds like, and she's not illegal or anything, but it's like with Trump in office, I understand that the other administrations deported people too, but when Trump's in office, if you aren't white, you're more scared than you used to be.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't about deportation, right? What's happening at these airports, they might not deport you, but they might just put you in a detention center or a concentration camp for a month, a year. You don't know how long, and you're not going to have the right to call anybody. You won't have the right to see an attorney. You'll just be locked up. You might not be deported at the end of it, but who cares, man? It's definitely going to ruin your year if they take you. So it's definitely going to like... Yeah, like I'm terrified, man. My girlfriend, she's also not white, and her mom is a green card holder. She's a legal resident, and they're traveling to Mexico next month, or in May. They're traveling to Mexico. They're going. It's pissing me off. I've got all this anxiety about it because the thing is, they're all dark-skinned Mexicans, and
Gross.
like, I tend to like them. I tend to like those types, but like.
Oh.
The fact that they look the way they do, that they're vulnerable because they're small women, and that the mother is not a citizen. They're both citizens, but the mom isn't. They don't give a shit. They'll take all three of you, and they'll sort it out later. This is what's
Someday.
Yeah, someday. You don't know when. And the scary part is, you don't know. You don't know what's happened. They end up in a Texas prison somewhere. You don't know. They're in the Lone Star lockup. They got cute names for all these concentration camps too. The Lone Star lockup, the Speedway Slammer, and the Alligator Alcatraz. They love saying these things, and they think it's okay. And that's what the terrifying thing is the. And that's why people don't want to travel. That's how they're going to control us. 50% of Americans already don't have passports. And most people don't have the real ID. So pretty soon you won't be able to travel at all, or it's going to be very difficult.
You know, those least able to defend themselves, as Skylar put up a comment by Coast Cider, indeed. And yes, Corinne, Skyjack Morgan, slurping there in the middle, is back. He's back. Hey, one important thing, would you do me a favor, Sky, and with your left hand, reach into your pocket and take out your handkerchief and hand it across to your left. Just put out your hand to the left so I can get that handkerchief. Hand it out to your left. Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Thank you.
boy,
Okay,
we
here.
got a clever
Smack.
show here.
Thank
for
you very
folks.
much. I'll put it right back.
So yeah, Sky is just popping in this morning just to contribute, and Skylar. So Skylar, Sky, and Jack is what you're looking at, folks, on the screen. Skylar said to Jack, me, last night that Sky will be on just briefly in the morning, and I said, I doubt that very much.
Just briefly.
But I'm glad you're here, and you can stay as long as you'd like, buddy. So yes, Corinne, he's here today. Thanks.
I
to Sky.
appreciate that.
We have a lot of topics to cover. We like to warm up with some things now as people trickle in. And Sky has the #1 morning news show on the
Yes.
internet. So it's
#1
like,
news
hey,
reaction show on YouTube.
drop
What do
a
you guys
roll.
think? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think that it's written in black and white in Project 2025? They want to destroy the TSA. They already busted the union. They're already not paying them. What do you think? Get a passport and avoid real ID. Passport is real ID now, but you're still going to get stuck with it.
Really?
Yeah, passport counts as real ID.
Oh,
Like-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, the real ID is so that your state, because you still get a passport card, and that's the real ID. It's got the little star on it. So if you want a passport,
We're getting stars now? Yellow stars?
there's a star. And in California, it's yellow. Yeah,
Is it really?
yeah, it's on the top
Oh
right
my
of your.
God.
On your driver's license, you don't have a little yellow star on it, or it's a bear with a star in the bear, I think. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what did they give to the homosexuals? It was something different than the yellow star.
It was a pink triangle.
Oh, and you had to, yeah. What do you
Yeah.
are you guys familiar with the play Bent?
I don't know.
Okay. When I was in undergrad,
Yeah, there's
uh,
a star right there. You got it. You got a real ID.
Well, it
yeah,
makes me feel especially connected to my Jewish heritage, where I get to wear a star, on
you're a
my
Yes.
step up.
shoulder.
You're a step up from the pink triangle. At least you're not gay. Not you're
Yeah,
just
you
a
got to have a.
Jew.
If you add one more point on that star, you get a six-pointed star, and then you're there.
It makes me appreciate James Baldwin for being
Ah.
both black and gay. He got 2 points, and a brilliant, brilliant writer in his time, of course, who ended up living in Paris to get away from America.
Yeah, but he came back to fight. He came back to fight the good fight. Um, yeah, I mean he's one of my favorites, James Baldwin, the native son.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? Do you think that this is all just coincidence, or do you think this is authoritarian rule, and that we are barreling down towards a regime that we can't be won't be able to fight back?
I'll
A
tell you
little
one
bit.
thing. I was just thinking this morning how there has actually been a decrease in the talk about the Epstein files. So there's been some success in that department at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I call them the Trumpstein files. By the way, just I never refer to them as just Epstein because he's just
Yes.
one person heavily involved in it. So to answer your question, I'm a little more optimistic, I guess, perhaps in both you guys. I think the Republican Party in this
As
case,
usual.
or as I call them, the Re-Trumplican Party, is
Mm.
is much more to blame. Not that I'm happy with the Democrats, and Chuck Schumer is a great example of I would say, to piss you guys off, a decent man who's not right for the moment. He was way
Yeah.
too deeply embedded in the status quo. And as I was watching some wonderful stuff with Mehdi Hassan, commentator with I forget whose show, a wonderful, brilliant woman I hadn't seen before. But in any case, the point is, this is what Ralph Nader warned me about in 1980, which is, corporations taking over. And as soon as they do, then the government is kind of the puppet of the corporations, which is in many ways, not entirely, it's much more complex to answer your question. That's kind of where we are. Republican Party is much further down that road, but Democrats are right behind. Why Gavin Newsom, in my opinion, not a terrible politician, but compromised. He can't say, I don't want to tax billionaires 5%. He won't do I won't not free health care for everybody. He can't say these things because that's anti-corporate, and then he can't do his number one job, which is get money from corporations in order to run his campaign to get into office. But even
Mm-hmm.
that, for you guys, perhaps is cutting him too much slack. Like he's a sellout, it's terrible, it's all corrupt. Well, I guess my fear about going along on that train is then people just become anarchist. Like, well, it's all terrible. We have to tear it all down, which is easy to say and
What's
difficult
wrong with that?
difficult to experience. So I'm still
Well,
naive. I'm going to go out on the streets on Saturday and demonstrate with no kings, hopefully be among 50,000 people in San Francisco and try to win the midterms. And I'm still entrenched in the system. I haven't given up on it, perhaps as you guys have.
I haven't given up, but I mean, to give up on a system, what you just described was fascism. I mean, what you just described, this corporate public partnership is what.
Oligarchic kleptocracy.
Yeah, I mean, well, Benito Mussolini said fascism should more properly be called corporatism since it is the merger of state and corporate power. That's Benito Mussolini, the guy who invented the word fascism. And what you just described is fascism. So
Okay,
it's
well
like,
maybe I'm just not getting the label right in your world.
well, no, I
Let me
just feel like it's
let me
it's like
interject.
when we had a constitution that people cared about and a president or I think someone like Chuck Schumer might give a shit about the constitution, but with that, when we have people that are enlightened like that, sure, we could keep the effects of fascism from affecting you and me, but if the constitution's off the table, then fascism just affects us more.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Skyward, you were saying? Or were you checking
Well,
comments?
well, I want to go through some comments because I love to interact with our viewers. Thank you for being here, and thanks to those of you who have come over from Sky's channel. And just a reminder to everybody, we are going to be talking about how much is it, Jack? How much manure is unaccounted for?
Uh, let's see. They said 10 million tons, but I don't like the word tons. I like to do the math, and that's 20 billion pounds of manure in California.
What are you gonna do with it
Yeah.
all?
So let's not. We're gonna move from corporate America to huge amounts, 20 billion pounds of cow shit in California alone.
We're going to get to that later. I
Dairy
want to
industry.
call out this guy who, Jack, tell me if you recognize him. This is the California Insider host. It's a Trump plant inside of California, pretending to warn Californians of evil things. But he's the guy who interviewed Giacomini and allowed him to just lie his ass off the
Okay.
entire interview. I mean, never called him out once for just blatant lies.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's always putting out crap to make people think that California is in the shitter, and he won't cover anything like this though. He won't. He's in the pocketbooks of these rich people. Which, by the way, I know people are still having a hard time wrapping their heads around this, but that is ranchers. Ranchers are rich and politically connected,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
this is why you'll never see this talked about on his show. The accounted for manure was bad enough, people. The unaccounted manure, how do you explain that? Anyway, we're going to get to that. We're going to patience,
And
patience.
just
We'll
because we
get
have
there.
some new people watching the show, so Skylar and I very often talk about the cattle industry, which includes dairy cows and beef cows. So if you drink cow's milk or eat beef, which is cow flesh, that's the manure from those industries. And this is regardless of whether it's factory farms or your local, small, organic, historic, multi-generational. Those are all the BS terminologies we deal with here. Skywar's in San Francisco at the moment. I'm in Marin County, California, and we don't have factory farms. We're against factory farms, but we do it the right way with Nyman Ranch beef, organic, small, free range. All this is nonsense marketing. A cow is a cow, and no one can talk to a cow, of course, unless, of
Unless
course,
it's
the
a
cow is
horse
herding the
cow.
cow. Yeah. So it's the cattle industry. If you eat those products, you participate in producing a huge amount of manure. And of course, unnecessarily. And I do want to always connect this back to veganism because I naively think it's one of the powerful things we as environmentalists and activists can actually advocate for. Not to mention, oh, by the way, you're not torturing animals to raise a product that is, as Schuyler has often said, the most inefficient way to feed humans. And this is kind of off the beam from, kleptocracy and fascism and authoritarianism. And yet, I like to bring up both points in our show because we can walk and chew gum.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Now I'm gonna scroll through some of the
Comments.
comments that we haven't gotten to for a minute. Um, Live from Ireland, thanks Ray Cooper. And last week I thanked you for your donation to the exposing the Nature Conservancy campaign that I'm working on. Mana
Boyle.
Boyle, go ahead, Jack.
Manaboy. Yeah, great. I actually noticed his comments too. Thank you, Manaboy. Very cool. Iran war is a complete distraction for the other distractions. Again, Manaboy.
Hmm.
No WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, ever found in Iran, but the threat is back because there's always a threat. I learned that one in the
Yep.
1980s again too. You take out Gaddafi, and then there's the next terrorist
An imminent threat.
imminent
Imminent.
threat.
Thank
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Manaboyle again. Anarchists, you get three in a row. Anarchists in the proper sense prefer internal monarchy, external anarchy, no rulers, not no rules. Interesting. And Corinne exclaims, Ray is here, and that's our buddy Ray Cooper, a World Peace Chocolate, who's in Ireland for a few months and checking in as a fan and a supporter of the show. Manaboyle, it's based on natural law, real anarchy. Interesting. Uh,
Anarchy is anarchy natural law? I don't think anarchy is no leaders and a direct democracy, and hierarchy only for expediency and not permanent. That I don't know. I guess maybe I should have a whole channel about anarchism and anarchist philosophy because it
yeah,
seems like everyone seems to just throw that word around
yeah.
and like there's a definition and there's lots of people, lots of books about it, and a
I
few of
think
which I've read.
I think that I think that'd be valuable public service because I haven't read any of those books. I really haven't done that. A lot of political science classes for me are going back to 1979.
Well, if you want to get something cool, you can read Emma Goldman. There's on her 13 essays, and they're fantastic. You'll like them very much. They're as applicable today as they were in the early 20th century.
I learned about her from Reds, the great movie
Yes,
by
Emma
Warren
Goldman.
Beatty. Right, way back when.
That
Wow.
movie should have been an Oscar winner, but some bullshit movie we don't remember won it that year.
The
You know,
fact that it's even made and nominated and got a lot of viewing is unusual in this country. Nothing like it since, right?
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything like it since, except, Interstellar totally was influenced by Reds, which I think is. Have you seen the movie Interstellar where they're interviewing people from the Great Depression
Oh,
and the Dust Bowl, and they're interjecting the interviews as if they're part of the narrative of the film? I thought that was so great, and that's what happens in Reds. He's interviewing people that were there during the narrative, the dramatization.
I saw
Brilliant.
Interstellar twice. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's certainly my favorite science fiction film of the last 10 years. I mean, it's a brilliant adult film as opposed to Star Wars, bing, 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 shoot 'em
Yeah.
up in space. But I didn't make the connection to their format because that's not content so much as is format of film.
Yes,
Interesting.
right. They're the storytelling component, like the mechanism, the mechanics of the film. Have you seen Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary yet?
Saturday night.
Did you like it? What'd you think?
Yeah, I like to downplay movies I like. So yeah, it's messy structurally. I won't give away anything, by the way. Don't do spoilers, folks. So you're cool. It's kind of messy, and there's ways to criticize it, but it has a big heart, which is something that I find I need in movies, and it's hard to find these days. Everything is so damn cynical. Like I was
Yeah,
watching last night. I wanted to watch again Sinners, which
yeah.
is it's a tough watch. Very well made film and a whole different thing. But here we are doing movies. Anyway, you have a question follow up on one of the movies you just asked me about?
Oh no, I was just say that the Project Hail Mary,
Yeah,
hard science fiction with a heart is rare, and I think it's kind of like if you've seen the movie The Martian, same writer, and
yeah.
it's like The Martian, except everyone in the film isn't an asshole, and it has like some humor and some human spirit and heart there, and I think it's fantastic. I thought it was wonderful, and I saw it in
I,
IMAX. I loved it.
I think so too. I've learned a long time ago. I don't say, "Oh my God, it's an amazing film. You got to go see it," and tell people. And then they go and say, "Oh, this is going to be amazing." And then it's always easy to find criticism in a film, but it's sort of like ET for adults in a way. And
Yeah,
the acting is amazing. I'm always consciously aware, like as an actor, what this guy is doing, and how it's creating this connection to a character. Not going to give anything away.
but
Connection
this
to a character that's created. It's quite impressive.
it's essentially a one-man show, and
Yeah.
he pulls it off. It's fantastic. I hope people will go see it in the theater. I usually don't recommend movies to see on the small screen, but I'll tell people to go out and see them because it's such a different experience on the. I really love the cinema. I don't really love watching. I never watch movies at home, almost never, unless I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to watch like Taxi Driver or something. Something. I'm
There's a
like,
heart-centered movie.
oh, no, I was like, because sometimes I want to be like, hey, I'm telling my girlfriend, she's younger than me, and I'm like, have you ever heard of John Cassavetes? So let's watch a John Cassavetes movie. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that in the cinema, am I? So we're watching it at home on demand. But
What a
I,
romantic picture.
well, yeah, Martin Scorsese's, I mean,
Gee.
yeah, it's fantastic. It's Taxi Driver's worth checking out. I just saw it again a few months ago, and I thought it was fantastic, as good as ever. Well, gentlemen, I have a members only stream I have to get to. So thank you so much for allowing me to crash your party. And
Oh,
if
hey everybody! And before you go, Sky is with me tomorrow. Skyjack Morgan. Sky. We don't know what his name is, but he will be here
yeah, I'll be
tomorrow
here.
for the first Wednesday show. And tomorrow's, if anyone cares about the ocean and sharks, there's some very interesting stuff going on with great white sharks. And for Sky's first show, we have a renowned scientist from South Africa joining, and he's going to share information that no one has seen yet. Pretty exciting.
So this is Wednesday, March 25th. What time, Skylar?
Tomorrow, Sky and I will be on at 9,
Oh,
and
same
we
time,
will
9
bring
a.m.
the scientist on at 9:30.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
same Sky time, same Sky channel, or
Yeah,
Skyler
you
Skyler
said
time.
it just like it. Same sky time,
Yeah,
same sky
same Sky
channel.
channel.
That's great.
Well,
And if anybody wants to subscribe to Skyjack Morgan, please do.
Absolutely.
Skyjack Morgan. I do the #1 news reaction show on YouTube, The Morning Sky. I'm an independent news and culture commentator and free speech and critical thinking advocate. Thank you so much, everybody.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Would you say that again? So is it, do we, on YouTube to find you, do Skyjack Morgan, or is that the?
Yeah, Skyjack Morgan. You nailed it.
Okay. Well,
You
thank you,
nailed
sir.
it.
Good to see you.
Thank you. I'll see you guys
Thank
on the
you.
other side. I don't know how to stop in this interface, how to kick me out. So could you kick me out, please?
Just walk off stage left. There he goes. Well done, Skylar. Now we can take the energy down. God, that guy's really hopped up, man. Now I know how people react to me.
Hey, so I thanked Ray Cooper earlier, and I want to thank John Spear. John, I don't know if you're watching, but John Spear also donated to this. This is my exposing the TNC campaign that is ongoing, and I will. I'm getting better at this shamelessness, Jack. You like it?
Yeah, no,
There's a
well,
banner over there.
you will evolve to the point where you won't have to say the word shameless, apologizing for promoting your fine work, Skylar. But yeah, good for you. You're coming along. It's a process.
Thank you. I'm a
Yep.
a little disappointed that Skyjack left before. Oh man, maybe I. No, we have time. We have time.
We can do whatever we want. It's America. It's a free country. So far for us, because we're white,
I don't. That's not true.
and even that's not fully true anymore. Yeah, exactly. So we got more comments. Let me know when you want to do those.
Oh yeah, please. Let's go through some comments.
Okay. Let's see. Ray Cooper, animal agriculture is a dirty job. I'm sure the smell never goes away, even in the house. And Corinne says, manna, M-A-N-N-A. Where I live, we call it Sonoma aroma.
Yeah, the smell of
Interesting.
money.
Smell of poop in the air, the Sonoma aroma. Interesting. Oh, and thank you, Ray. Watching makes me feel less crazy. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm going to the demonstration this Saturday for No Kings, to not feel so alone. I think I benefit from community. I don't think I'm alone in benefiting from being around other people like-minded about basic, human rights and such. Ray Cooper, ethical anarchism is only about not having a ruler or government. If you like personal freedom, you have something in common with anarchists. Yeah, Ray, I'm actually hanging out there with Sky. I have not done my research and study on anarchism. So I have a negative connotation, like it's, I guess it's the stereotype of the anti-anarchist, where it's, chaos in the streets versus, no, I don't want a government telling me what to do. So anyway, I need to do my homework on that. Manaboy, excuse me. Mark Passio, P-A-S-S-I-O, has a very simple but principled definition of anarchy. The natural law connection is crucial to avoid immorality and rights violations of individuals. Well, I'm on board with that, so there you go. But I don't want to get off into a tangent. It's okay, we were there. Okay. Okay, and someone was telling Skyjack they're waiting for your call-in, so he's going to another show right now, I guess. But I guess if you're with us, thank you for staying. Oh, and Leah's here. Hi, dudes. Remember of Wednesday, April 1st with all 4 of us. So we can announce.
Yes.
Ira, you want to
Yes.
announce that for the first time?
Yeah, I was so quick to talk about tomorrow before Sky left that I forgot to say, hey, everybody, next Tuesday, because of this ill-advised trip I'm going on, we have to
We're
not
not
do
on.
Tuesday, and
We're not
we'll
on.
be doing Wednesday instead. And it will be myself, Jack Gashite, Skyjack Morgan, and Leah Wilborn.
Wow, that's a lot. Skylar, I'll say this publicly. Are you going to be able to handle us all coming at you at once with our kinetic craziness? You're going to need your hat and a gun. Like, shut up now. I want to get a word in here edgewise, you people.
I'll have a fresh keg tapped right next to me.
Okay, cool. So, Corinne, something with the volume. I can lower my volume a little bit, and then Corinne, it's just, people are hearing Skyward, but the gain's a little bit different on our 2 setups. In any
I
case,
don't know what happened.
next, so folks, again, just to reiterate, it's very important, we're not broadcasting our Skyjack show next Tuesday. Instead, we're going to go to Wednesday, April 1st. So it's not an April Fool's joke, but on April 1st, sorry, that's my noise. Wednesday, April 1st, it will be a special show with the 3 people you just saw, Sky, Jack, and Skylar, and additional special guests, wonderful a woman, the brilliant Leah Wilborn, who's watching us right now. So fantastic. Really excited to jump into that talk festival next Wednesday, April 1st.
I have a very nice microphone, and I don't know why it's crapping out on me, but too many people are saying they can't hear me.
Yeah, I've got your volume all the way up and it's low. I'm not sure what the solution is to that. Is if you're just closer to it or that's not the issue? Or plug unplug?
Uh,
That's better.
that's
That's I know that's crazy, but even just to have it closer just to hear you, Skylar, is fine, you know?
Yeah, that's why we buy the nice microphone, so I have to go like this. It's the same microphone I've been using for a year.
Uh, Welcome to technology. Yeah, actually, God, John August, I can't. Oh, God, John here. Good morning. I can't hear you, Skylar. Corinne, I can't hear you, Skylar. Gosh.
Well, Jack, start presenting your thing, and I'll
Okay.
go troubleshoot.
Okay. Let's see. So, can you put up my screen there, buddy? Yeah. So, hi, folks. Skylar's going to mess around with his audio. Thank you. There it is. Great, great, great. That'll do. So, the headline is kind of stunning. 10 million tons of manure in California are unaccounted for, new report shows. Stanford researchers found serious loopholes in factory farm regulation. And of course, this isn't just in California. So, this, to one of the topics Skylar and I are always, and I think appropriately, going on about, this is a manure lagoon. That disgusting, weird, cobwebby, foamy, polluted rectangle shot at an angle against a beautiful green pasture with cows dotting it is a manure lagoon. This is a stock photo from Getty and the Washington Post. But in any case, cows pump out, I don't know, I mean, they drink whatever, 40 gallons of water per day per cow, depends on the species, depends on the age of the animal. Dairy cows drink and eat more and poop more. But it's a huge amount of manure, and big surprise. Now, it says here factory farms in California routinely avoid pollution regulations intended to protect the state's water, finds a new white paper out of Stanford University. So thank you for universities not being part of a corrupted government by the Trump administration yet. 10 million annual tons of manure, animal manure, in the Golden State are unaccounted for, thanks to a combination of non-compliance, non-enforcement, and opaque disclosure rules. Um, It's not known from public information where the manure went, said Zoe Robinson, a candidate at Stanford Law and author of the white paper. And of course, some, of course, ends up directly or indirectly in lakes, streams, and other public waterways. There is no a way. And as Skylar and I know firsthand, and I mean firsthand, watching it in microcosm at Point Reyes National Seashore in West Marin County, thousands of cows in that park poop on the land, and it washes into the streams, and then it goes into the lagoon, and the estuaries, esteros, and then into the ocean. And this is, I guess, Skylar, what we learned from this paper here, and it goes on and on and on. I can read more if we need to, but just the conversation is there are actually regulations on the books from the county level, from the state level, regulatory water board, and then also the federal Clean Water Act. At Point Reyes Seashore, none of those three potential enforcement mechanisms were being utilized, meaning there was no monitoring. If it was monitored, there was no reporting of it as a violation, and even if it was reported as a violation, there were no penalties. So, on all three counts from all three jurisdictions, the cattle industry, those who make meat and milk from cows, could pollute the environment massively, even if you don't care about using and torturing and killing animals for your taste buds. The pollution is massive, and we'll do a separate show on just the methane emissions, which are in part coming from manure, but also from animal enteric digestion.
It sound like this. Any better? Any worse?
Much higher gain, but it's breaking up. Just lower your voice a little bit. Interesting. Speak again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well, it's much higher volume anyway. It's odd sound, but it's higher volume, so we'll go with that. At least we can hear you. And then, Corinne, if you want to comment and say, yeah, it's better for you, or whoever can hear. I know you were dealing with that technically, just because I was running my mouth on about
Well,
the.
I wanted that entire time to talk about the dairy waivers, the water waivers for the dairy industry inside
of a national park. And so I don't know why. I mean, of course, we shouldn't be surprised that outside of the national park, there's all of this unaccounted for manure. I guess what's staggering to me is that even the manure that we do know about, it's they can't explain away how it is gotten rid of without causing harm to the environment. Even that we know about, even that which is documented. And then there's this much more. I mean, what is that? Double the amount?
Oh, it's probably magnitude. Well, I'd be guessing, but it's I would presume much more than double. I mean, it's just basically. I mean, we saw massive pollution, which is to say, fecal indicator bacteria exceedances. 300 times regulations for it. Fecal coliform and E. coli and Enterococcus were the three different bacteria we were checking for. And some of them were, yeah, 100, 200, even as high as 300 times allowed limits. And that's in tiny little Point Reyes, which is like the best of the best, right? Just a few thousand cows spread out over, what is it, 17,000 acres of the so-called Orwellian named pastoral zone. It could be called a manure zone at that point. And that's just a little Point Reyes. So, of course, where there's millions of cows across the state, it's I don't know, 100,000 times more pollution. Way too much, by the way, for the land to absorb. It's not just fertilizer, good for your garden. It's as Schuyler documented way back when with his Shame of Point Reyes. It's just coating the land, and it kills plants and poisons
Like these
fish when it
disgusting
washes them.
things that you were mentioning, they're inside the national park, poop ponds. Like what I filmed, gigantic industrial agricultural sprinklers spraying liquefied shit across Point Reyes National Seashore. I saw trucks dumping dry manure. I saw trucks spraying out the back liquefied manure. I go by uh, poop ponds. I mean, poop ponds. It's a real thing. I'm not making this up. This is their terms. Poop ponds, so that they can go and dump all of the poop that they don't know how to get rid of into these ponds. God forbid animals should actually want to live in a pond in a national park. Also, that it can be gotten rid of in yet another way. This way, the liquefied way, and then we suck it out and go and spray it because of the non native annual invasive nitrogen loving plants that will spring back up, shouldn't be there, but keep growing because they are nurtured by the destructive practices of ranches. And that's inside of a national park. And this is what the TNC is supporting, by the way. So God only knows how bad it is outside of the national park.
Yeah, indeed. And it just again, folks, we're not just showing an article and talking. Schuyler was documenting firsthand. I mean, if I should find, it would take me a minute to find that picture. I don't know whether it's from one of your bit of footage or Tony was also shooting out there, but
Mm.
just a still photograph of a truck driving across a pasture, spraying out this brown sludge, literally manure and urine mixed together. I mean, it's just so disgusting, and it's hidden in plain sight. You could see it and you could smell it. And by the way, great comments. I really want to appreciate the high level of commentary here. So,
Gross them up.
Manaboy, welcome along. I mean, you're in the fold here. The elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is massive amount of cows and cow shit. Honest doubter, good morning. It's regenerative manure lagoon, y'all. So no worry, it's regenerative. Just stick the word regenerative in front of it, like the word clean in front of coal, and we're all good. Manaboy, excuse me, non-vegan environmentalists make no sense. Non-vegan environmentalists. Yeah, that's in effect a non-vegan environmentalist is what I would call an oxymoron. You're either an environmentalist who is vegan or you're not an environmentalist. Oh, and Corinne, yes, you're right. This article here quotes Louis Bernier, who is part of running Factory Farm Watch, and that is a DXE project. So kudos to them for that. John Spear. Oh my God, John, that I didn't know, and that's even for me hard to believe. And I'm a believer in the evils of the dairy industry and the farming industry. A single dairy cow produces about 150 pounds of manure each day. 150 pounds. That's almost my body weight in manure per
Leave.
large cow per day. Honestly, I have trouble believing that, and I'm a cynic about the industry. But I mean, for me, if it was 75 pounds a day or 50 pounds, that's horrific enough. But I guess that's the water weight of. I haven't picked up cow pies recently to figure out how much they weigh, but in any case, I do trust John with stats, so that's pretty stunning. And then Manaboy, moving on, there are anaerobic digester companies cropping up who are turning the waste into usable gas instead of stopping the waste at the source. So, do we know about that? That's manure digesters. I know that, or methane digesters, excuse me. And I
Oh,
know,
geez, that's an episode that we didn't get to because that's all bullshit too. That's like some stuff that Strauss was bragging about turning it into uh clean gas or whatever, and it turns out that this is a bunch of malarkey in order to make people feel good about methane digesters, which
well,
are absolutely horrifying.
so by the way, just your sound, I can hear you, and it's loud and crisp. It's got a strange kind of crackly quality to it. Just FYI, while I'm talking, so at least we can hear you. Though we're not getting a plane, we can't hear you anymore. But as far as my experience with methane digesters, I did tour Strauss Organic Dairy Farm in Tomales, I believe. No, excuse me, it's Marshall, which is just in western and northern Marin County. And I did this, gosh, almost 20 years, 15 years ago. And he had a canopy over one of his poop ponds, the lower one, down by the milking barn. And it was explained that that captures some of the gas and converts some of the methane gas instead of into the atmosphere into energy he can use. And frankly, my understanding was I believe him, it does that to some extent, but it's not all the manure. And it makes, I don't know, I'm trying to, maybe John Spear has the facts on that, whether it's a 10% recollection or 20%. It's some, reasonable amount of, better than nothing, but it's very expensive and it doesn't produce a net neutral output of methane gas. There's still a massive output of methane gas, even when using methane digesters, because they're burping and farting. And burping is actually where more of the gas from a cow is coming from their a ruminant's digestive system produces methane. And that's why they even have these horrific things where you see these tests where they put what masks, rubber masks, like gas masks on top of cows and try to, I mean, it's just Orwellian abuse of animals. I mean, as if we're not doing it already, but it just goes one step further and cutting holes in a cow's stomach and then showing you what's going on. I mean, just it's when I saw that stuff, it's like, oh my God, there's just no limit to the cruelty of man in this industry to make money. So methane digesters help a little bit. I'll give them that. Sure, they help 10%. So what? It's still a nightmare. It's like saying we're gonna, well, I won't go to the Holocaust, although I want to in my mind, but it's just horrific and inexcusable. And it won't make up for the horrors of the industry. Oh, and thank you, Manaboy. He says it for me, then I'll let you go, Skylar, or I'll stop. We could always stop perpetually breeding cows to be killed at 1/10 their natural lifespan. But yeehaw, I'm a cowboy, y'all. A man after your heart, Skylar. Hence Skylar's cowboy hat. Wow. And Coast Cider says that cow shit spray is toxic to the earth. Indeed it is. Wow. Man, oh yeah, yeah. 100, they shit bigger than me in one day. Okay, well I'm 165, Manaboy, so there we are, about the same, and that's just hard to believe. Corinne says, Google says 100 to 150 pounds of manure per day per cow. Thank you, Corinne. And of course, depends on the size of the cow, the age of the cow, the breed of the cow, and then I know dairy cows do put out more of everything. They're larger animals. They're, lactating females, as Leah Wilborn would always remind me. Mommies, mother cows that we abuse and torture for their mother's milk. Skywars keep working, so I'll keep going here, folks, with your comments. These are about the same number of dogs in California. Oh, I see. Interesting. I'm trying to get your name right. Colamagrostis? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, same number of dogs in California as cattle, about 5 million. And most of their waste also is deposited on the ground and runs into creeks and the ocean. So I hear you about dogs, and that's a common complaint I've heard about pet ownership and dogs. To be fair, or to be accurate, they are much, much smaller animals than cows. If an average weight of a dog is somewhere like, 35 or 40 pounds from poodles up to Great Danes, it's a lot less than, 1,000-pound cows. But point taken. Manaboy, a lot of it turns out not work. The anaerobic digester nonsense. I hope they're never successful using the feces of any animal. Well, indeed, and I mean, there's so much wrong with it. Even if they worked out to take care of all manure, which they haven't at all, it's still just one of the most polluting industries on the planet, and certainly one of the main drivers of the climate crisis, global warming, which the right wing conveniently just ignores and denies now as they have to.
How's this sound, Jack?
Awesome. Talk more.
Hello. Just had to pull another microphone out of the closet.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. You said, Corinne, let us know. Give a report on the microphone. And Corinne
Yeah,
says, my dogs weigh about 5 pounds each.
the cattle producing 100 to 150 pounds per day. If you look at what they do, which has absolutely no ecological purpose, they are commodity animals, which brings me to my main point. They just consume. They just consume and excrete, consume and excrete, consume and excrete. You consider how much they eat, how much they drink, the resources that they require, and then the reward at the end of that is that they also pollute. I mean, they're using up resources and then providing pollution. And this is not the same thing as wildlife. It's infuriating that people think that livestock resemble wild grazers. Now, the person who mentioned the dogs, well, I understand that there are bad pet owners, but the amount of waste that you're talking about these goddamn breeders. You're talking about these pedigree people. And in fact, one of the things I was going to share earlier during the warm up, except that we ran long, was finding yet another comparison to the dairy industry. And that's, I learned about rape racks in the dairy industry, where they stick the cow inside of this metal chute and it can't do anything except whatever you're going to shove into it. Well, the breeders do that too. And I recently saw exactly what they do to dogs. In preparation for today's show. So I won't show it today, but they also have rape racks. And these, you know what's funny about it, Jack, is it's all happening in the same shitty part of California, down in that Central Valley.
Central Valley.
Where the industrial farming is taking place, and also most of the dog breeders are coming out of there. I wonder if we could just focus on how much shit is coming out of that part of California, whether it's dogs or livestock, because both of them have been reduced to commodities.
Yeah, I've mixed feelings. I mean, there would be value in that, obviously. My mixed feeling about it is, it's funny. I don't know that it's the problem, but I'm hearing my echo in your background. I don't know whether that's affecting our audience. In any case, let me move on with a comment, which is, I'm constantly aware that I want to remind people there's no good way to produce products from cows. So even this article talks about factory farms a lot, and people can escape by saying, well, I just do the good local small farms. And I make no distinction. I'm actually working on a graphic right now to show that if you buy from a local small farm, in many ways it's worse for the environment. Takes up more land, produces more manure, takes up more water, more food required because the animals are typically longer to market if they're grass-fed and free-range, the things that the industry is constantly trying to get you to believe that they are. And of course, as we were talking about with manure, there's very little regulation of the industry overall. I mean, in any way, there's huge political support for this industry, meaning they're not regulating really anything. I mean, when was the last time you heard of some article about, some big fine levied on any farmer, anywhere, ever? I feel like Skyro when I say anywhere, ever. It's just given a free pass on everything. It's just amazing the power of the industry. And just because I highlighted it here, thank you for putting it on the screen, Skyler. California has more factory farms, back to that word factory farms, than all but 5 other states. So it's the 6th largest I don't know whether that's number of cows or products, but anyway, it's one of the top 5 cattle holding states and top also 15 egg producing states in the country, according to USDA. Dairy farms, and especially big business in California, there are more dairy cows and dairy farms in California than anywhere in the US. So we don't have as much beef, I guess, as some of the Midwest states and maybe Texas, but we have more dairy, which is interesting. I didn't know that, which makes it the top milk producing state in the country as well. Yeah, I mean, all of this is just, the EPA maintains there are a total of over 1,000 CAFOs, that's concentrated animal feeding operation in California, but quote that EPA is not transparent at all about how they come to that number, and they don't even have a publicly released list of those thousand something farms. And that's Louis Bernier again. I did reach out to him. I haven't heard back. He's a tough guy to get hold of. I know they're busy right now on a few different projects, but it would be good to get him on the show. He's a smart, good guy. I watched him in action. I was very impressed.
And this was before Trump gutted the EPA or
Right.
changed the EPA.
Right. Back to the conversation we're having with Sky. I mean, it was horrific, and these industries, polluting, climate heating industries, get a free pass from Democratic administrations as well. But then the Republicans go in and they just accelerate the process toward, cataclysmic climate crisis. Trump, let's shovel more coal and pay someone $1 billion in another country to not have a wind farm. I mean, it's literally suicidal. It's insanely suicidal for short-term profit. And of course, the moron Orange McTurgler is the perfect useful idiot to have at the helm. What's so funny? Who can take all the heat and doesn't care because he has no conscience about it, no shame. American livestock produce around 941 billion pounds of manure every year, and it has to go somewhere. Exactly. And much of it is to Skywar's what he was describing. He's seen firsthand, folks, an eyewitness here in the Skywar with a cowboy hat. Much of this manure is applied to fields as fertilizer, which then allows the nitrogen in the manure to leach into the groundwater and end up in lakes, rivers, streams, groundwater, and wetlands. According to the NRDC, National Resource Defense Council, agriculture is the leading source of pollution in streams and rivers in the United States, and the second leading source of pollution in wetlands alone. In case you didn't think it was bad enough, folks. So please, if you're watching the show, just spread the word and don't eat cow products at the very least. That's the least you can do, and it's significant what you can do. And Honest Doubter, thank you for putting it on the screen. Massively subsidized by state. Billions a year, because the calories required to raise and kill a cow versus the calories you get is preposterously unbalanced. Yeah, I don't even know. Do you know the ratio of calories to put into a cow to get the vegetable matter that we eat, like 10 to 1 or something inefficient way?
Oh, probably worse. Like in the energy pyramid.
Yeah.
By the time you get to whatever you want to call an apex predator, which we wrongfully consider ourselves, you're getting like 1%. I mean, it's crazy low.
Why do you say we're not an apex predator as opposed to just an apex killer? You mean because we don't eat, we're not designed with incisors to tear flesh, you're saying?
I mean, we could get into a whole thing about defining the word prey upon, because if you eat something, you might argue that you are preying on it and therefore you're a predator. But
I'm just curious, what was the genesis for your comment? What's the thought that have you say that? That we're not the top predator. I always think of us as, but
well, I think that when a lion or a white shark or something like that is at the top, and they eat a great big deer or a cow or a gazelle or whatever in order to get what that animal ate, and then that animal was eating the producer, or maybe there was an interim, maybe something else ate something, and then at the end of it all, you've got this other animal that's designed to eat the other animals, and that animal's up at the top. When nothing's eating that one, and that one's designed to eat all the tertiary consumers underneath of it, then that one is the apex. And, that's like a lion. And we like to I think that humans like to imagine that we're in that club.
yeah.
But the
And
problem
actually,
is we have the population of producers while
right.
pretending that we're apex predators. It doesn't work.
Right. And also, we're not, unlike a lion or a shark, we're not eating animals out of necessity. We don't need to do it to survive. We do it because we like the way it tastes on our tongue for 15 minutes. And John Spear just wrote in the comment regarding animal agriculture, a good book to read is This Land, How Cowboys, Capitalism, and Corruption Are Ruining the American West. And I know this is reversed, but this is the book John's talking about. I was turned on to this, John, by Jim Coda, and it's a wonderful book. I mean, it's such a massive indictment of the cattle industry. And again, how
I was
cowboys...
I was going to mention John Spear because, as I said earlier, he contributed to this TNC thing I'm working on. And I'm just trying to look at it from the common sense aspect of TNC ignoring all the evidence that it has in front of it. But
Yeah.
John added, he's like, this is a multi-billion-dollar organization, the TNC. And they are effectively subsidizing ranching again. And this goes with an honest doubter's comment, which is what made me think about bringing it up now. Massively subsidized. Well, when you go and you collect money yourself and then it gets redistributed to ranchers yet again, and those ranchers are still in the seashore, by the way, this victory that we're celebrating that never took place, that's subsidies.
Yeah, and by the way, do we know? I would like to dig into it, John. This is a question also for John or any other research-minded people on this show watching now. We've got a good audience, knowledgeable and educated, as I like to call us. Um, how much money, indirectly, directly, does the Nature Conservancy get from the cattle industry? I assume they're taking money, or that they wouldn't be so deeply embedded in the culture and the architecture of the industry, always saying we need to use cattle as a way to manage the land, which is utter nonsense. But right, I mean, they got to be taking money in donations. That's why they're a $1 billion so-called nonprofit. But it's got to be from industry indirectly. I mean, there's no other reason to do it.
Yeah, I
Jack,
agree.
please stop. Corinne says, Jack, please stop selecting. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Okay. Sorry, Corinne. I don't get it. And Manaboy says that statistic is probably why Bill Gates has a fixation on trying to get humans to eat poop. I didn't know that. As a way to eat manure, to make use of it rather than just stop producing in the first place. Oh, God, you're over my head, buddy. I don't know that one. It's been a while, but that was a thing. Oh, God. And not a interesting. So Honest Adder calls it what I was describing and what you were describing, not a physiological predator.
Correct.
You were not designed, well, we used tools, right, to run animals down in the old days, but now it's just, mechanized nightmare time. Um, yeah, being at the top, oh, very good. John makes a distinction. Another way to phrase the same thing we're discussing. Being at the top of the food chain, quotes, top of the food chain, is different from being an apex predator,
And
to your
I'd go
point.
for, I'd go a step further. Are we even in the food chain? Because that would mean that you at some point participate in it as re, putting your calories back into it. We don't. Even when we die, which is never by being killed by predators and being consumed, even when we die, we put ourselves inside of a box or turn ourselves into ashes. And so we still don't give back, even in death.
Right. Oh, and by the way, that's the other point I constantly make because people forget that. They'll say, well, a cow acts like a bison on the land, grazing and natural process. But the big difference people forget is bison died on the land.
It's
Their
a big
nutrients, their
difference.
body decays back into the soil. It's eaten by animals. Every other organism is preying on that animal. Whereas cows were removed and sent off to New York for as beef or wherever. So it's again extractive industry is the term I was taught. Honest Outer, massively subsidized by the state, billions a year, because the calories required to raise and kill a cow versus the calories you get to eat as food is preposterously unbalanced. I'm repeating this stuff because these are points that it is fascinating. There was an article in the Chronicle which isn't worth reading, or I'm sorry, the Marin Independent Journal, and it's basically just repeating the talking points. Yeah, Skywar's complete review is it's perfect. It's poopy. It's just nonsense repeating these things about we used to manage the Native Americans managed the lands and did burns and
The Marin Dependent Upon Ranchers Journal. I
journal,
mean,
right?
they're so far from independent.
God, and actually to be accurate, it was an Associated Press article they picked up, which is just the talking points of the industry, and there's no independent reporting anymore. It's really terrifying. Corinne, thank you. Now we know your body will become composted. I've arranged for my body to be composted. Yeah, I got it the first time. Wow. Oh, by the way, is Leah, if you're still here, Leah, you have a show tomorrow at 2 o'clock California time in a forum with two other intelligent, articulate, vegan, animal rights activist advocate women. And I don't have the details in front of me. Um, So if you want to provide that, we'll read it and get people to watch your party tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th at 2 o'clock. But I don't know the details in that forum. I think it's in defense of animals, but you tell me if you're here. If you're not, so be it. Goodness. Hey, look at that. 10 o'clock sharp. How about
Yeah.
that?
Don't forget to support our friend Skyjack, who came over and warmed us up this morning, and who will be helping me. He will be the non-shark person asking the basic questions that we need to remember, that a lot of people are wondering in their minds. Because what you're going to find out about a country that was the white shark capital of the world, an iconic species, and what they've done to that iconic species is going to kind of blow your mind. Well, no, it's not. It's pretty par for the course these days, isn't it?
So just so we're doing the numbers here at the top of the hour. Tomorrow, March 25th, Wednesday, 9 a.m., Watching Humans channel. You are going to be on Skylar with Sky, aka Skyjack Morgan, not to be confused with our Skyjack show. It's funny, when we were first coming up with the name, I proposed Skylar and Jack, Skyjack, to keep it, general. Thank you, Corinne, for the $10. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the hosting of this show with Skylar. But anyway, Leah said, don't call it Skyjack with a hyphen because there's already a show called Skyjack. I hadn't heard about it. She was the one that turned me on to Skyjack Morgan. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. We're completely separate. So when we have him on, it does get confusing. But that's tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. Watching Humans. Skylar Thomas will be hosting Skyjack Morgan. We appreciate Skyjack Morgan's participation. Certainly support his channel as well. He's a #1 podcaster on YouTube, apparently. And we won't be back next Tuesday. We will be back the following day, Wednesday, April 1st. This will be on Skylar's page and my Tree Spirit Project website as well. But that's going to be a hootenanny of a show, if I can use that word, with both Skyjack Morgan and also Leah Wilborn joining us for a foursome of Talk Fest.
With any luck, I'll be joining you. Maybe I'll be detained
Well, you're white.
for having an opinion in America.
Just keep the cowboy hat with you and keep your whiteness, and you'll hopefully get back into the country.
All right, Corinne wants the banner's not good enough. I need to put the donation link. I tell you what, I've simplified things. You can go to watchinghumans.com now, and that image that I'm showing there, that's the homepage. You go to that, and you won't not find the donation link. Watchinghumans.com.
Excellent. Yeah, funny. My brother of all things taught me. If you want people to donate to support your work, one click, right there, easy banner. Click on it, donate. Otherwise,
Well, it'll be 2 clicks. You got to.
Well,
maybe depending which one you click, it'll be 1 or maybe 2.
Look at you, Skyward, making progress. You did that without apologizing for actually, wanting to raise money for the good work that you do to, benefit humankind. Excuse me, the planet, not just humans, but also.
Let me go test it and see how well.
Okay, you do that. Yeah. Anyway, so thanks everyone for. I don't know whether we can continue on here, but you get the thing about the manure from cows bad, and you can contribute and make a difference. In case you're not already off of animal products, certainly get off of dairy. That's the low-hanging fruit. Yes, give up your dairy cheese and eat some non-dairy cheese, and that truth will set the animals free.
It's a little depressing that the enjoyment of a flavor of something is enough to stop people from doing the right thing. But now you don't even have that excuse anymore, because they've come such a long way with those dairy alternatives. Like I have amazing non-dairy ice cream, amazing non-dairy cheese, amazing non-dairy milk.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what, people, for some reason you all made peace with peanut butter a long time ago, but when Miyoko came out with butter, the dairy industry went to war with her. Oh, you can't call that butter. You can't call that butter. It's not full of poison.
Yeah. Well, basically, you frighten us. You're a threat, so we got to shut you down any way we can, whether it's rational or not. Manaboy, good to meet you, buddy, indirectly. So good show. Thank you. Well, it's going to be exciting.
Thank you for being here.
Next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, we're going to have your boy Skyjack Morgan on with Sky and Jack and
And
Leah.
Leah.
That's going to be really, really fun, and maybe we'll go 2 hours, like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll have a microphone that works again.
We'll work on that between now and actually we'll work on it later
I
today.
better work on it before tomorrow.
Exactly. Well, right now it sounds better. Other than I can hear myself in echo, but the people aren't complaining about it, so we're okay. We're on with the show. I had one other thing I wanted to say. Let's see. Oh, honest doubter. I got my mom on non-dairy milk finally. She prefers it. She prefers it now. Better taste. I mean, I got my little cup of coffee here I'm nursing, and there's oat milk in here. And I, I grew up drinking lots of milk and lots of milk in my coffee, and I don't miss it anymore. It's completely replaced. To Skywar's point, they're really good alternative products. There's maybe one or two things that I wish there was I'll be honest, a non-dairy double cream brie. I miss that flavor, but there's so many other flavors I eat and enjoy. And to follow up on your point, Scott, you're saying it's amazing what we do for just the flavor. It's true. And it was really interesting. I watched, we'll talk about this later. Earthling Ed Winters, a really, he's, you know his nickname? You know who he is with the long hair? Do you know his nickname? Vegan Jesus. Which is so hilarious because he's gentle and articulate and he doesn't get angry. And he was on a show with three meat eaters, and it was a guy from a Scandinavian country who was running the agriculture department, I think out of Norway or something, a politician, and he really had him on the ropes, as it were, in the debate. It was fascinating, and he did it. I would have been. I'm not quick to anger, but I would have been angry because the guy was just not answering a question. Do you think it's ethical to gas pigs in your country, which is how they kill 100% of the pigs in gas chambers? And the guy said, well, blah, blah. And he said, no, I just asked you a simple question. Do you think it's ethical to gas pigs to get, to get bacon or whatever in your country? And he avoided it again. And he says, well, and then the guy, he caught him. The politician said, well, I'm not going to answer that. I'm a politician. And everybody around the table laughed, ha, 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 ha. And then Ed, to his credit, was disciplined and focused enough to say, do you think that's an acceptable answer to entrust you with regulating our food system when you can't answer a simple yes or no question? And all of a sudden the guy lost his little smile. It shut down the ha ha ha, we're all in this together. And Ed was pointing out something that's right there obvious, but very skillfully, a debater. And it wasn't an attack. It was just, he just stayed on the point. It was really inspiring to me. I'll watch that a few more times. I'll send it to you later. It was really well done. Because back to why I brought this up, it's not just for taste. It's the social contract. Well, we're all doing this, so it's okay. If it was just taste, it'd be easier to break. But everybody at that table was in on it. Yeah, well, we eat pig. That's what we do. Not even questioning it anymore because it's so much, the air we breathe, this eating animals. Oh, Manaboy, watch it. That was a frustrating interview. I thought it was frustrating, but it was at least 15 minutes long, and Earthling Ed Winters really got him on that one point, which is startling. It's unusual to do.
I've seen the clips of those pigs being lowered into the gas chamber, and I got to tell you, what species invents that mechanism where they're in this thing and it rotates over? You just pile as many bodies in there as possible, and then it goes down underground into your death. I was thinking how amazing it would be if Earthling Ed could pipe the sounds of those pigs screaming into the studio while those people are laughing. And it's like, how long are you psychos going to just keep smiling while you listen to this?
I mean, you got to come in knowing what you're going to do. But if I were in that interview, I would have my iPhone and I'd have it I don't need anybody. It's like, I'm going to do this. What do you want me to turn on? And just play and show the little video with the sound of how pigs die, which is horrifically. And it's just, I mean, that's why I'm an animal rights activist, among other things, later in life, which is, it's so clearly wrong. And it's so clearly easy to prove how wrong it is by just showing the average watcher of
No,
the
Jack,
show.
you're wrong because it's just a pig.
Well, if you show it and they hear it, the average person will be aghast because that's the truth that must be hidden from people or they wouldn't be able to participate. And I was just reading about it again in The Omnivore's Deception, more about gas chambers and killing animals and how the Nazis could kill humans this way. And we are doing many, many of the same practices, horrific, immoral practices that would just make your blood boil and get you sick to your stomach. We just hide it behind concrete walls. Hence, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be a vegan now. Oh my God, Corinne says, you've seen it? You've seen it live, Corinne? Gassing of pigs in person? I have not seen that in person. I don't ever want to. Just seeing it in video is disturbing enough. And you can see it. It's available. I mean, that's the weird thing, Skyward. You can go to YouTube and say, pigs dying in gas chambers or something, and you'll find it. There's footage of it. It's available. You know? That's the crazy world. It hasn't yet been removed from YouTube, which it will under an authoritarian regime that wants to keep up the industry. Manaboy, if we didn't do what we do to animals, we would have very few people who would fight war. Yeah, meaning the connection between how we can turn off our connection to other living beings, torture both humans and other animals. This connection. Yeah. Okay, Skyward, should we wrap it up and take care of your technical stuff we're going to work on next?
Yeah, sign us out because I got things to work out.
Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Join Skylar tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th at 9 a.m. on the Watching Humans channel. He will be hosting Skyjack Morgan. And then a week from tomorrow, we will have our next show. We're not on next Tuesday. We are not on next Tuesday, folks. The next Skyjack is April Fool's Day, perhaps appropriately. Wednesday, 9 a.m. again. Always 9 a.m. shows. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and the following Wednesday, the next time to catch all our beautiful faces. So thanks everyone for tuning in and commenting. As always, you can support this show by donating to Watching Humans. You can support my Tree Spirit Project at treespiritproject.com/donate. Simple. Keep it simple, folks. And thanks for watching. And please comment on this video when it posts on YouTube in the next 5 or 10 minutes. How quickly does it post, Skyward? Do you know? Okay, we don't know. Anyway, thanks everyone. We'll catch you next time.